So, I'm 24. My little sister is 14 and has always been interested in art. I moved an hour and a half away when I was 18 and we don't see each other often, but I make a point to call, text. It was her birthday yesterday and I thought I'd splurge since she's been going through a rough time. She's changed schools twice due to bullying and our mom always tells me that she won't talk to anyone, is having intense mood swings, etc. I've made multiple attempts to help her, but she shuts me down and gets snippy. Anyway, I got her a set of $150 artist grade markers called Copics. I'm no art connoisseur, but apparently, every artist who's anybody has them and our parents don't want to spend that kind of money for her hobby. They're about $5 per marker, and tend to give practical gifts like clothes. Whenever we've texted recently it's been her ranting about them not getting them for her. Even on her birthday, she was like a bomb about to go off. She barely acknowledged me and only said hello when she was asked. I was excited to give her the gift but the second I opened it she grabbed them and turned to our mom, saying see. Even he knows you should have got them for me. Which I awkwardly brushed off. Every time she opened a gift from our parents it was very snotty like oh, cheap sneakers, my favorite. A plaid skirt. Wow. I'm blessed. I was prepared for an angsty teen, but I soon reached my limit. Our dad showed her a journal they bought and she suddenly yelled I told you both exactly what I wanted but you spent the same amount of money on things I don't need. Screw this. She threw it against the wall and ran up to her room. Our parents were a lot less well off when I was her age, and they could barely afford a birthday for me. Every time it was a dodgy cake and a handful of clothes without holes in them. I accepted them like I was the luckiest kid ever. I would have never sworn and yelled but she's been very spoiled. I talked with them for a while and apparently, she's done worse before which shocks me. They think even if they can afford it now, she should learn the value of $1. I agree helped shape me to not have my every whim be attended to. Besides, she got what she wanted in the end, why is she still mad in the first place? Sister came back to get the markers, but I took them back. I said that she was ungrateful and I wouldn't tolerate it. She started screaming at me but I just left the party prematurely with the gift in tow. My whole family is blowing up my phone because I ruined her birthday. In my eyes, I spent $150 to get no thank you and yelled at. This will teach her a valuable lesson and maybe spark a change in her teen angst phase. But my family doesn't want to hear from me until I give it back. Considering I've got my entire family insulting me, I have to wonder if I did make the wrong choice. Not the idiot. All the people saying he can't take back the gift because he's not her parent are wrong in my opinion. It takes a community to raise a child and an older brother is part of that community. Being bullied in school does not excuse her attitude. Most kids are bullied, but they don't come out as bratty as she is. Hell, I was bullied all through high school and didn't for once lash out at my family or parents. She's spoiled and needs to change. Perhaps therapy will help her. Everyone's the idiot here. She is obviously behaving badly, but she is 14 and you know she is having a rough time. You are not her parent and it isn't your job to teach her a lesson. In any case, all you taught her is that you are an idiot who she cannot rely on. I think you should give back the markers. Once you gave them to her, they were hers, whether you liked her behavior or not. A gift that is conditional upon the other person's response is not a gift, it is a transaction. You are the idiot. You don't have the right to take a birthday gift away because you don't like the recipient's reaction. You do, of course, reserve the right to let it affect how and if you gift on future birthdays. Yes, she is a brat and your family needs to teach her some lessons. However, the question here pertains specifically to the action you took. In that regard, you and you alone are an idiot. Give the gift back and apologize for taking it away. My wife and I have been married for 12 years, and the nephew in question is my brother's oldest son, who I'll call Michael for this post. Michael is 16 and the oldest of my brother's 2 boys. Michael was a baby when my wife and I got together, and she has always treated him and my brother's other son like family, just the same as she treats her own siblings' kids. My wife has a significant inheritance and we both earn generous wages. It was her idea to open college savings accounts for Michael and his brother when they were babies. This is likely to be the only family money for college they'll receive. Last weekend, my brother and the boys came over for dinner and we all had a nice time, though the youngest one was on his Switch the whole time and Michael was on his phone. I didn't think anything of it until the following Tuesday when I found my wife sobbing after work and she showed me an Instagram post made by Michael, who apparently is too stupid to realize we both follow him, as do his grandparents. He posted a picture of my wife from behind and a picture he apparently took of her underwear laid out on our bed, both mocking her size, she is overweight, and calling her a big idiot among other things. My wife was devastated and humiliated and hurt because she's always had a good relationship with him. I'm furious and want to cancel his college savings account right now, taxes be damned. My wife says she'd be too embarrassed to do this since she's an adult and shouldn't be so hurt by a child, and just wants to pretend it didn't happen. I already told his dad and let his dad deal with it at home, but I'm still furious and want to cancel the account Monday. Not the idiot for being extremely angry. But before going nuclear, why not confront him directly? Ask him what he thought he was doing and what his problem is. Ask him why you should want anything more to do with him. Does he know about the college fund? If so, ask him why that should still be on the table for him. He needs to hear it from you, as the angry uncle. Yes, teenage boys can be absolute idiots and need to be held accountable. But they tend to become decent people with firm guidance. Not the idiot. I am Michael's age and 16 is more than old enough to fully understand his actions. The way he has acted towards your wife is absolutely despicable, and he absolutely deserves the consequence. I cannot imagine how anybody my age would think that behaving in this manner is acceptable, no matter how much one dislikes another person. Hell, even my 13-year-old sister and her friends know better. You don't owe him anything. He has overstepped your boundaries by miles, invaded your privacy, and acted abhorrently. Whether you decide to terminate the fund or not, you would not be the idiot. You are the idiot, assuming not getting the money means not going to college. Messing with a life-changing opportunity because of something stupid said by a 16-year-old is petty and immature. 16-year-olds say all kinds of stupid stuff. Number 1 parenting tip for parents of teenagers: don't react to anything volatile the teen says. They say stuff just to press buttons and those teen attitudes can change quickly. Be the adult and accept punishment and apology commensurate with the crime. I have 2 teens, one is crazy. One Sunday around 8:30 p.m. I decided that I wanted pizza. I placed an order online with Domino's for a pretty standard pizza and set it to delivery with payment as cash. The tracker online said 35 to 45 minutes. They close at 11 o'clock. 1 hour has passed. I called to check on the status of the pizza. The manager answered the phone and asked what I would like to eat. I mentioned my order number, the estimated time, and what the ETA was. The manager replied, "Oh, that was just sent out, you should get your pizza soon." 30 minutes go by and no pizza has arrived, and the online tracker is now bugged. I call again and get the same manager. I explained to her that I was the guy who called earlier and I am checking in on the pizza. She then tells me, "Oh, the driver said you canceled that order." To which I matter-of-factly say, "No, I didn't." She then told me she would check with the driver but then hung up. I call in again and she instantly picked up the phone and hung up. This happened 3 more times. I then call and get put into a hold where Domino's promotions are just looping. I simply order a new pizza from Hotbox and decide to stop by Domino's on my way there. I make my way to their building, and I see chairs on tables, oven off, one driver sitting and texting, and the manager texting at the counter. I then call from my cell. The manager looks at the phone, eyes the screen, and lets out a very visible sigh. She hung up the phone instantly while the driver looked up and laughed. I casually walked in and went up to the counter. She looked up from her phone and asked what I would like. I say in a low, snide tone, "I would like X pizza." "Oh wait, that's actually the pizza I ordered from Hotbox because you guys are so incompetent that you couldn't deliver a pizza in 2 hours or see fit to answer your phones. Have a good night." 2 middle fingers on my way out. As I'm driving away, both the manager and driver come out and flip me off, to which I return the favor. I then drove to the Hotbox. I pull into a side street to park on the curb, and the man in the car behind me honks. I figure I just took someone's parking spot. As I put my car in park and get out, it's none other than the driver. He then gets out of his car and says, "Where do you get off talking to my manager like that?" I don't think I've ever been angrier in my entire life. I screech, "You guys made a mistake that badly and have the audacity to complain when you get called out. Are you out of your mind?" Taken back, he mutters, "Well, you're not welcome at Domino's anymore." To which I rail, "Do you understand me at all? Why would I ever eat at Domino's again after tonight?" He then threw his hands up and drove away. Not the idiot, my wife had almost the exact same experience from Domino's in KC. Maid of honor and her daughter were staying at our house and I was separated to keep me from seeing my bride, so my wife ordered her a pizza for lunch. Same story, an hour late, reassured once, hung up on her next, and told her to shut up on the last call. We took it up with corporate to get a refund. I will never eat Domino's again. Everyone's the idiot here, then for being incompetent idiots and you for allowing yourself to be dragged down to their level. I can assure you you are not banned from Domino's. You need to speak with the franchise holder and relate your experience, making sure to apologize for losing your cool with the driver that chased you down on the road. There will probably be some staffing changes at the store and you will get some coupons for free pizza. Everyone's the idiot here. You were good until you went inside. You should have just taken that information to corporate, but instead, you chose to be petty and rude about it. Yeah, they were being terrible, but I don't see how you being terrible is going to get you what you want. You had the opportunity to be happy and right in this situation, something that doesn't happen too often, and you only went for one of them, practically ruining the opportunity to be the other. I, 33, am married to a guy with a 9-year-old son, whom he shares custody with his ex, who is also married. We get him primarily on weekends, and a few odd days during the week here and there, but my husband is definitely in his life. His ex's husband has been in my stepson's life since he was about 1, and had started calling him daddy after they had another child together. He was just over 3 when his baby brother was born. I had just started dating my husband at the time and it had always bothered me that he called this other guy daddy as well as my husband. He would tell people he had 2 dads. I told his mother that I thought it was wrong for him to call his stepdad daddy and should be calling him by his name, and she got defensive and said no one forces her son to call him that. It was just something he started doing on his own accord after they had another baby. I told her she needs to enforce on him that is not his daddy, and it's rude to be calling him such. She told me her son could make that choice when he wants to and to mind my own business. I asked her how she would feel if he started calling me mommy, and she said she wouldn't care, liar, and put out this BS saying him calling me mom doesn't take away from her being his mom as well. Fast forward a few years and my stepson is now 9, and still refers to him as a dad, as well as my husband, and he does it when we are at school events, and just confuses everyone and still bothers me, and my husband, he's just not as vocal about it as I am. I decided to have a conversation with my stepson about no longer calling his stepdad dad and why it was wrong and hurtful to his real father. He got upset and said he liked having 2 dads, but agreed not to do it anymore. After we dropped him back off with his mom, my husband gets a phone call from her, screaming at him for the conversation I had with him, telling him it was petty of me to do so, and that their son was upset. He told me I probably shouldn't have done that, but I only did what should have been a long time ago. That other man is not his dad, just like I am not his mom, and my husband's ex should have been more thoughtful of my husband's feelings on the matter when it started years ago. You are the idiot. It isn't for you to have said. If it bothered your husband, then he should have been the one to have that conversation, not you. You could have asked him/his mom about having him not call the stepdad dad in social situations, as it can be confusing. I can understand that. To me, it sounds like you're upset that he doesn't call you mom and you feel like you're not as close to him as his stepdad is. You are the idiot. You're probably jealous because he doesn't call you mom, to be honest. You lost the plot, lady. You way overstepped your boundaries. Your husband, if it bothered him, should have been the one to talk to the mother, and even then, the stepson is clearly comfortable calling both of his father figures dad. Why is that such an issue for you? You need to realize that this is solely a you problem. I don't know what kind of insecurities you have, but you are putting them all on a child, and for that, you are an idiot so much. You are the idiot. Lord, how could anyone be this dense and selfish? This man has been in that child's life since he was 1 and obviously spends a grand amount of time with him. The man plays the role of a dad along with your husband. It doesn't impact you, it doesn't hurt anybody, and it brings him joy. Put up with it and stop micromanaging the parental relationships of your stepchild. You frankly sound like a terrible person judging from the tone and language of this post. During the moving process of finding an apartment, my roommate's parents were single-handedly the most difficult people to deal with. The following events all took place in chronological order. I originally wanted to move in April in order to avoid having to move during finals. His parents shot down the idea and told him that he was not allowed to sign the lease until May. We prepared a complete list of furniture together without our parents' involvement. Keep in mind that we are both 19. My parents who live abroad simply gave me a budget and told me to sort it out myself. My roommate's parents vetoed the list of furniture and told us that everything had to be cheaper. Okay, no worries, I proceed to sit on my own and recreate an entire list of furniture and then send it again. For a second time, it was rejected because the couch was too expensive for no reason. Keep in mind this couch is being bought used. Sensing an approach to the move-in date and the fact that I still was not given the okay to buy the furniture, I tell my roommate that I need to buy the furniture because he is leaving for summer and I do not want to be stuck building it all on my own. For an entire week, my roommate then avoids me completely, telling me that he has finals and not to bother him. His parents refuse to allow me to purchase the furniture and tell me to wait. It is now May 1st, I have the keys to the apartment and no furniture. I managed to convince my dorm to allow me to stay a couple of extra days. Since the delivery date of the furniture would now be after he leaves, I asked him if his parents would be willing to split the assembly fee so that I would not have to build everything on my own. His parents said no. They would not pay for someone to come assemble the furniture because it would be an extra $100. May 3rd, I receive a call from my dad. My dad has always been more of the strict type. He berated me on the phone for not having been organized enough to sort out buying furniture for an apartment as a 19-year-old. I was told to just buy whatever furniture I want out of my pocket rather than wait on my roommate to respond. My mom had also forced my dad to buy a plane ticket to fly 18 hours to come to assist me in moving. After my dad flew 18 hours to come to assist me and my roommate in moving and building all of the furniture, my roommate told me that his parents were coming to our city for the summer and that they wanted to stay in the apartment for a month and a half. He wanted them to sleep in my room. After my roommate left, I hired a carpenter and installed a key lock on the door of my bedroom. Since I paid for the TV, couch, and pretty much 60% of all the furniture, my dad wanted me to put the couch and TV in storage. I decided that the best medium would be to leave everything but to lock my bedroom door. My mother warned me that if I go through with this, I could potentially lose my best friend. Would I be the idiot if I locked my door for the summer? Not the idiot. You're paying half the rent, that room is yours. Your roommate should offer his bed to them and take the couch that his parents were so controlling over. This sounds like a nightmare if this is a 100% accurate description of what went on. I'd find another roommate next year, one that doesn't have parents that not only control their adult son but also try to control their son's roommate. You should talk to him and tell him, though. Not the idiot. Put a lock on your door, and if they want a bed to sleep on, they can buy one for their son. While you won't be displaced, they're invading your personal space when they have their own, just too lazy to make it work. Not your problem. Also, let the landlord know their departure date so he can check the day after. Or ask a trusted friend. A keypad lock is costly, but you can change the code so they have to leave. Not the idiot. Just know if you lock them out, they will likely just break in and stay in your room anyway. I don't understand why the roommate isn't giving up his room and sleeping on the couch. They are his parents. He should be the one making sacrifices. If you lock the room, it's going to start a war. If it was me, I'd return back to town a few days earlier than expected unannounced and catch them in my room and confront them for breaking in.